What's going on, everybody? It's me, Bomb1337.
And it's Dozer, the PC Exposer.
And you're listening to the You Should Play This podcast, so let's get right into it. Woo! Ra-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Yeah. All right. Hey, James, what's up?
Not much, man. Just, chilling on I guess this, is a Wednesday afternoon we're shooting the show? Yeah.
I guess that's, yeah. We should get it out pretty quick, though.
Yeah, usually takes a couple days, but...
Yeah, we'll make it happen. Remind you, welcome to the You Should Play This podcast. Make sure you check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch at You Should Play This, and also on YouTube. On Twitter at Should Play This, and always at www.youshouldplaythis.com. My goodness, James. What a day.
Oh, definitely.
So hot out.
I'm dripping sweat as we speak.
If you're walking around Pokemon going today, make sure you bring a water bottle with you.
Oh,
my
yeah.
goodness.
And some sunscreen. Oh, my gosh. It's a hot, sunny day here.
Yeah, it's a hot, sunny day here. I was excited. James talked me into getting the PPR this week, and I've been really enjoying it. We'll talk about that more when we get to the PPR.
Indeed.
But of course, we've got your Geek Week fill. So let's jump right into the Geek Week fill, shall we?
Alrighty. Pokemon Go's watch accessory has been delayed again, and I've died a little inside. Hurry up. My phone is burning the inside of my leg.
Battleborn dropped to $15, only after being out for 3 months. Ouch. Well, maybe I'll buy it, or I'll wait for it to be free on Gold or PS Plus next month.
Hey, do you like Doom? Do you like Wolfenstein? Well, if the answers to these questions are yes, then you might explode when you hear this. A new Quake game is in the works. I'm just going to leave that there.
South Park's new game, The Fractured Butthole, has a great pre-order bonus giving you a free copy of The Stick of Truth. Very underrated game, so I recommend getting this. That's it. I got nothing witty to say on that.
This has been your Geek Week Phil.
And that might be news to you. All right, Jamesley. What a wonderful day for a wonderful topic, because somebody just announced something very exciing, and it's
announced or leaked. I'm not 100% sure. I mean, I found my information secondhand, but it seems pretty solid. Maybe you have some firsthand.
Well, I did a little. Everything I read was secondhand as well, so maybe this is leaked. So we're gonna talk about it anyways, because it's kind of the big to do, and everybody wants to know what's going on.
Bigger than Pokemon Go?
It's not the Pokemon Go.
Oh, okay.
It's not. So the topic of the day, James, is
Nintendo's next console.
Something crazy going on with the NX and the NX library and the NX Life. We have some leaked information, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's fairly reputable too. I mean, the sites that I go to usually don't, leak bad information, but
yeah. Well, you never know. But still, it's going to be the Nintendo NX is going to be a handheld system that hooks up to your TV, a handheld hybrid.
Yeah.
If you will.
That's
what they're saying. We've made so many different predictions over the past, I don't know, couple months since we've been talking about it, that it seems like it could be one of the ones that we made, if we go back and listen to us talk, our rhetoric that we do.
Definitely. I mean, there's only so many ways you can play a game, but
right. There was a while where a lot of people were saying it was going to be an app. I'm kind of glad that it's not an app.
Yeah, me too.
I don't really want to download it onto my, my Roku or in the PSN market or something like that. I'd prefer to, play a Nintendo-made system. I don't want to rely on other companies to keep their service up and afloat. So it's a handheld system hybrid is what we're looking at, I guess.
Yeah, and well, some interesting fact I was going to really quick interject is that the Wall Street Journal last fall presented that Nintendo was going after some like industry-leading chips, and the NVIDIA Tegra mobile processor was, I guess, forefront on their list. So that might have been a big, huge hint of where they were going.
Very interesting. So, with a new mini processor, this leaves us wondering what little things that they're going to be doing with the system. One of the things that they confirmed on the leak, so here we go with more hearsay, is detachable controllers.
That's cool.
That's cool. I mean, so when it's hooked into the TV, you have it maybe you have it in this little like holding case that keeps it charged while it's hooked in, and you have a controller that attaches to it, or a wireless controller that you can attach to it. That's kind of interesting. But what does this mean for the system exactly? And one of the things that I'm going to really wonder about is this going to be the next step from what they were trying to do with like the PS Vita? Are they going to have, 4G and Wi-Fi enabled gaming? Obviously, they're going to have Wi-Fi enabled gaming if it's a handheld.
Of course, yeah.
Are they going to offer a service plan for you to get up as a part of your phone, or a Nintendo service plan? I know in Japan, Sony offered a service plan. They didn't do it here. But are you going to be able to connect to 4G, for whatever, like $10 a month or $20 a month or whatever they're going to do it for, and actually play online on the go? Or are they going to cheap out and do like leaderboards like they did with the Vita?
Well, I've never known, Nintendo to kind of cheap out. They've always been a little unusual, but usually they have, if it's a better way to go with the system, they kind of go there, and that's kind of like their attitude.
Well, I mean, but this is one of the things that Nintendo's been behind on, and I'm going to play devil's advocate. In Japan, they have been forefront with a lot of their stuff, but when it makes it to Nintendo America, they cheap out on it. One of the things that, is big is like, think about it. The Super Nintendo had a dial-up connection in Japan. Do we get that here? No. The Nintendo 64 had the DD drive. Did we get that here? No.
No.
GameCube had a online connector. Now, we did get that here, but did they push any of the games? No. The only game that they had for the GameCube that played online was Phantasy Star. But in Japan, we had, Mario Kart with Ghost Racing and all stuff like that. That could have been a huge thing here. So it makes me wonder if they're going to go one way here and another way in Japan again, because that is something that they love to do.
Well, back when you just mentioned about the GameCube, back in those days, I think just Asia in general had better internet connections. I mean, the one thing about the U.S., as great as it is, we've always had slower internet service because we've been relying on older copper wire systems from, the turn of the century. Our phone systems came in our infrastructure very old. So, Japan, Asia, that's been a lot newer infrastructure that's been put in. So maybe at those times, they figured they could handle the bandwidth while it was still kind of slow over here in the U.S. I'm not 100% sure. It's just, throwing that out there.
I mean, you could say that, but at the same time, I mean, PlayStation 2 didn't have a lot of online play, but the original Xbox system, that was an online play system, and those all competed with the GameCube. I think Nintendo just didn't want to get into that infrastructure yet. And the same thing could be said about the Wii, because when the Wii was released, and I got to be honest with you, I don't know if they ever stepped it up. I didn't do any research on this part here, but like they didn't really have online gaming on the Wii. They just kind of had like ghost numbers and stuff like that, so you could like see your friend. Well, that's unacceptable, because at that point we had the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3, and you had plenty of online gaming, and that came out after and during the runs of those systems. So I'm more concerned that we might not get the same product that Nintendo's hyping at the moment.
Well, one thing I'm excited about is I hear they're going to go back to cartridges, so it's going to be a very cartridge-based system, I hope. I'm a big fan of cartridging.
Yeah, no, I'm a huge fan of that too. And one of the things that they're talking about, one of the things that's really tough though, when you talk about cartridge-based systems, is cartridges are really expensive to make. But if they go the flash card route, it's not going to be as bad.
No,
you gotta think with.
Go ahead.
No. You just gotta think with the amount of money it takes to make a cartridge and then box the cartridge and send the cartridge out. It's way over what it would cost to make a CD. So if you
but the longevity of your product, though, I mean, you know how many times I've been in a used game store and just like, oh, great, oh crap, it's scratched to hell. I mean, cartridges are a lot.
Totally agree with that. But what's it going to say for the price? Is the price are people going to be willing to spend the extra money on cartridges, or are we going to see another 3DS cartridge, a small cartridge that slips into the system? Well, I'm assuming they're gonna look more like Game Boy Advanced or something like that cartridges, if they're gonna make them at all, just because you can't have a handheld system that fits in your pocket with a big clunky cartridge. It's gonna, a cartridge.
True.
If you're walking around with a Nintendo cartridge hanging out of your pocket, connected to this, hopefully the screen is somewhat reasonable. I'm hoping 7 to 9 inches or something like that. I don't know, something
7
somewhat
inch would
reasonable.
be an awesome. That would be perfect for like a handheld.
Yeah, I mean, something like that. I mean, touch screen and whatever. But the point is you can't have something gigantic and portable at the same time. So if they are going to have cartridges, the cartridges have to be somewhere in the size of the Game Boy Advance cartridge, if not the DS cartridge with flash cards.
I would shoot for it more, because I mean, you look at like flash drives nowadays just for your standard computer. I mean, you get a pretty massive flash drive that that fits in that little coin pocket or whatever, that little watch pocket in your jeans. So I mean, I would even be satisfied if they were just as small as that. As long as they contain the whole game, why not?
Well, I mean, absolutely. I mean, they have flash. I mean, I can go on Amazon and buy a 256 gigabyte flash card like right now for $20 or something like that, something cheap. And if Nintendo's mass producing them, it's not going to be a crazy service. It's not going to be tough. You know what I mean? The problem is Nintendo's always been intense with the way they code things. So it's not going to be a normal looking flash card. It's going to have some kind of a, blocking technology on it. But one of the things, if you wanted to talk about putting things on cartridges, is something Nintendo did back in the day, back when they released the Famicom disk drive system. And this is something that I thought was really interesting. And this was also brought up in one of the forums, was that they would have kiosks available at some game stores that would allow you to bring a blank cartridge in and rewrite a game onto it. So that way you can buy a cartridge from them and then buy a game from them. And when you're done with your game, you can go over and burn off the game and put a new game onto it. If they go that route, this is pipe dream, folks, by the way, we're talking. This isn't any official. These are just things that I read on forums that might happen. Nintendo had a lot of success with that. They had a lot of piracy issues with it too, though. So now that their technology's at a certain point where piracy is what it is now. But back then it was like, how could you how could you pirate stuff unless you were like insane? It had the simplest computer these days can pirate anything.
Yeah.
But back then you needed like a really good computer and a really smart processor and all that stuff. And you needed to know what you were doing.
Yep.
If you are able to put and buy a blank cartridge and be able to put games onto it, how would you feel about that? Like, I think that would destroy the concept of trading in Nintendo NX games if that was a thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that.
It was really popular, and that was how, because in Japan And they tried to in America, it didn't work. But in Japan, what happened was they weren't allowed to rent video games anymore because Nintendo wasn't turning a profit. So Nintendo started suing all the companies that were renting video games. They tried doing it here, and it didn't work out very well for them. I think Blockbuster ended up winning that whole entire battle. The reason why they did it there was because they needed to make video games more affordable for the gamer. And when you were able to take your Famicom disk drive game to a kiosk and erase the game and put a new game on it, well, that meant, you were able to get more game at a cheaper price. If we're talking about repackaging the concept of cartridge, we're talking about a lot more money. It costs more money to make cartridges than it costs to cost CDs. And so if Nintendo's willing to stand by their product, it's going to be harder for them to sell things. Think about Laserdiscs, James.
I just got rid of a bunch of my Laserdiscs. Yeah.
Think about Laserdiscs for a minute. But that's like one of the craziest things. If you think about it, is like there were so many companies that invested so much money in Laserdisc.
Yep.
And that's why it took so long for so many things to come out on DVD, because companies were like, I'm not putting any money into that. Because you saw what happened with Laserdisc. So it's like the same concept with Nintendo going back to throwing their stuff on cartridges. Third-party companies, again, are going to feel isolated when they just got back to feeling comfortable with them. Because it's Nintendo's equipment, they own it, you have to buy it, and in order to put your game out on it, you have to pay them. And that sucks.
It definitely can. I agree.
If we're talking about flash drives that don't cost a damn thing, that's fine with me. But if we're talking about like some weird oblong cartridge that's getting thrown in there, then I have to pay more money to play the new Mario game, I'm going to have an issue with that. I take issue with, it's already 60. It's always been $60, by the way. It's always been $60 to buy a game. People are like, games are so expensive. I was like, think about back in 1985 when people were going to buy Mario for $60. It's always been $60. But if they come in and they're like, well, we're throwing them back on cartridges, we got to charge $80 for the new Yoshi game. They're like, blow it out your ass. I'm not doing that. Like, it's too much money.
Yeah,
so,
it'll be interesting to see because, I'm already pushed. I complain. I only buy like maybe 4 or 5 titles a year at $60. I mean, other than that, I'm always looking for the 20 and under bargain bin. I'll wait a year to play a game until it
absolutely
comes out. So
except for our PPR, obviously.
Oh yeah, that was one of the games.
Yeah, no doubt. So here's another thing that I think could be great though if they went that cartridge route is loading times, which is the biggest pain in the ass of all time. Loading times drive me crazy now. People are like, oh, it's faster loading times. And you're like, dude, my loading times on my PlayStation 4 and even on my PC, and I've seen on Xbox is like the worst, but like, they're almost rivaling my Dreamcast. And they're like, well, you got to think, man, it's like huge amounts of space. I was like, that's what they were saying back then. This doesn't do it for me. I need faster loading times. Well, with a cartridge, man, that's way faster.
Oh, yeah.
Faster, way faster, because it doesn't have to read on a disc. It's direct. It's there. It's on there. I like that idea. So if we're talking about
flash
cards,
technology has gotten a lot better, and even within the last 5 years, it's like doubled in speed. I mean, you go down
you're not kidding.
Disk. I mean, I've been playing with my Raspberry Pi unit and putting ROMs in there, and I noticed the faster disk I put in there, the little flash disk I put in there. It's the quicker it is. I mean, it's amazing.
Oh yeah, and I mean that guy Brian, he set us up with great setups. But yeah, eventually you're gonna want to upgrade and get more stuff on there, and it just is what it is. And when you put better things on there and you use better equipment, it's a win-win, So loading times is a thing that will be exciting if they do go with that. And here's the other thing, since you mentioned that it was the NVIDIA card that they were looking in. Upgraded system, you'll be able to possibly upgrade the system firmware as well. Mm-hmm. Which is not really something that they do it with PCs. They kind of do it with home systems now, but not really. But if you're talking about completely, just revamping a card on the system, doing a full system upgrade. So maybe they're thinking about, like, you know how we have the DS now, and it went from the DS to the, you know, the DS Lite to the DS 3DS to the 3DS XL to the 3DS 2DS XL to the SDS DS LES NES plus DS. It went on, and it's a new system every time. Well, with the hopes of them putting a really bitchin' card in there to process the whole entire system, we might not have to worry about those kind of upgrades. Like, we might not have to worry about the Nintendo X, the Nintendo NX XL, the Nintendo XXL, double XL, the Nintendo Triple X. You know, it'll be nice not to have to worry about them doing a new system every 2 years to your home system, you know?
Yeah.
Being a much stronger processor. But, again, Nintendo has been public about saying that this is not their next system.
Yeah, which is weird. Because it kind of is, but maybe it's not. I don't know. I mean, it's a hybrid system, so...
so that's kind of, yeah, right. I'm a little confused on that too. And maybe they're saying this the same way they should have said it when the Virtual Boy came out. They're marketing. They might be marketing this as a toy and not a system, which is what they should have done when the Virtual Boy came out.
Yeah.
You know, they made the Virtual Boy sound like the end all, the be all, the systems in America, and in Japan they were like, yeah, it's just kind of like a thing that we're doing to make a little bit more money while we're working on the 64, the Dolphin, if you will. But, like, maybe that's why they're not going so public about it. Maybe in their heads they're like, oh no, we don't want to get busted saying that this is the next system, and then it falls on its ass, and here we are, like, you know, head in the ground. Should have told you guys that we meant for this to be more like an app toy.
Well, yeah, that's why I'm confused,
because
they're ending the Wii U and they're just coming out with this, but then, you know, they're discontinuing, you know, as I said, to me it doesn't make sense. I mean,
they should have ended the Wii U last year. The Wii U is just it's a system that has, each month it drops such a high percentage in sales that they should have given up on making these products a while ago. Like, I don't expect. You know, when we go to used game stores and we see hundreds of Nintendos, like, broken up against the wall, in 10 years, that's what the Wii U is going to be at the mom and pop shops.
That's true.
And you're going to go in there and you'll be like, do you guys have any PlayStation 1 games? And they're going to be like, dude, those have what? We don't carry those. So, like, just hoping for that whole entire concept of a nice upgrade. But again, here we are in the dark. Nintendo still has us in the dark. What is it going to be? Is it going to be a system? Is it going to be... What is it going to be? Is it going to be a toy? Is it going to be... What is it going to be? I don't know. I want to play it, though.
Me too.
And I can't wait for it to come out. So I guess we're just going to keep on. Every time we hear something new, we're going to dedicate an episode to it because that's what we do.
Big fans of Nintendo.
Big fans of Nintendo. Big fans of PlayStation. Microsoft sucks. And I can't wait to see what Nintendo does with their next system.
Yeah.
And you know, I think it's going to be cool, but they keep on, you know, I don't know. I'm just confused because it's back and forth. Nintendo's saying it's not their next system, and we're all expecting a system. The Wii's ending. The Wii should have ended a while ago. But Nintendo's saying it's not the next one. So I don't know what to do. I'm excited and scared. It's kind of like watching a horror movie. You know, you're like, yes, what's going to happen next? No, don't go in that door. It's just like that feeling of being on the edge. You know you're getting a nice snack, but you don't know when it's coming. So
Awesome.
Wonderful.
We've got a PSA brought to you by You Should Play This in the Ad Console. Addiction comes in many forms, sometimes with us and sometimes with family members, and it's never easy to deal with.
What you or your loved one is going through ends up affecting more than just them, but also the people around them.
There is help, and it's easy to get, and it's helped many of my friends and loved ones, and it just might help you.
All you need to do is call 888-744-0069 and see what might be right for you. These operators are standing by, and they are here to help.
Everyone needs a one-up every now and again.
And sometimes that's all you need to get to the next level.
All right, guys, we're going to take a break. We'll be right back with the PPR and our new segment, very exciting, the Ring Review. We'll be right back after this break.
See ya.
Hey, welcome back, guys.
Back from the break.
Back from the break. I should state and say, really quick, want to thank Lame Genie and Power Glove for the music that they've been giving us for our shows and our episodes and all that stuff. Lame Genie, but we've been working with them for since this whole entire thing started, since You Should Play This started. And Power Glove, I met the drummer at an Italian restaurant in Somerville, and we started talking about video games. He noticed my tattoos, and then we figured out who each other were. He's a drummer from Power Glove. He knew who I was from. I don't know how he knew who I was. I actually get shocked when people realize or recognize me, because I'm like, we're really a very small outfit, but it's still really cool.
Oh, yeah.
Especially when somebody like that notices you and knows who you are. So we ended up talking for a little bit, and they gave me permission and to use their music, and we give them credit, and they're amazing. Great. You can check them out on iTunes, Power Glove. You can check, they all have band camps. And also Lame Genie just released a brand new Pokemon Go song. So you could go check that out on their Facebook, and it's also posted on our Facebook. You can go download the song and all that stuff. They're great bands. They're great people to work with, and I want to thank them so much for everything they've done for us, because it's always nice to have music and video game music, especially to put to our soundtrack to our podcast.
Isn't Lame Genie also going to the studio again to record some more, or?
Lame Genie's always in the studio.
Oh, okay.
Those guys are constantly in the studio, and also Power Glove is going in for another album soon.
That's what it
as
is,
well.
Yeah.
So it's really exciting to hear from these guys. I mean, their music's so great. One of my favorite albums from them is the Saturday Morning Cartoon albums, and it's song after song of the cartoons that I watched as a child. And I've been geeking out over Power Glove since 2005 or 2006. I remember listening to those guys forever. Nothing's better than metal and video games, and when you combine them, it's just it's what a treat.
Yep.
So we're going to get right into the PPR. The PPR is when we pick a game, we play a game, and we review a game, and we do it for you and us and everyone around us, because it's amazing and it's so much fun to do. And we have such a snacky cake treat for you today. Another full retail game. Oh, James, you talked me into it. What is the PPR for today?
It is Overwatch.
Oh my, Overwatch. How exciting. I wasn't ready for this game yet. James talked me into buying it. I bought it literally this morning, and I played it for 5 hours straight. James, you want to talk about the game for a little bit before we get right into our ratings?
Yeah, I mean, it comes from Blizzard. Blizzard is, also the hits, such as World of Warcraft, Diablo series, StarCraft. I mean, the list goes on. The Lost Vikings.
Some of my favorite games on Super Nintendo, Lost Vikings and Blackthorn. Those were Blizzard titles. Blizzard's been around forever, and ever since I can remember, playing Diablo on my friend's computer and playing. I was addicted to the WoW for a little bit. Who wasn't?
Yeah. I dated a girl that was got me into WoW, and it was awesome while it lasted. But
I'll tell you, man, WoW is recovering WoW addicts. It's something to be seen. It's like, how you doing, man? It's like, it's cool, man. 90 days WoW sober. I've been thinking about trying to create a mage, but I just, every time the urge comes, I sit down and I play Mario Brothers and I feel okay. It's just funny because like it's such, Blizzard makes such addicting games, and it looks like they hit the nail on the head one more time with this game, Overwatch. I mean, I don't even know how to explain. I mean, we've talked about it a little bit before we hopped on. One of the things that's really huge about Overwatch is that if you're a fan of like Team Fortress Classic or even the new Plants vs. Zombies, shooter games, Garden Warfare 1 and 2, which I am actually a fan of both, you really like Overwatch. Overwatch is Team Fortress Classic on steroids. It's phenomenal. There's no other way to put it. How many different characters are there, James? It's like insane amount of characters.
Yeah, over a dozen, I think. I mean, there's just so many classes. And what's interesting about all these classes is just they're so unique in character, and the people who play them, you can tell personalities, of the people who play them, because you really need to experience the different facets of all the different characters to really to understand and to appreciate this game. But
absolutely,
yeah.
I found my favorite already. Who do you play a lot with?
Well, I play a lot of Mercy. I like to support just because a lot of people. I'm one of those guys who like to play the characters nobody else really likes to play, and she's a very important character in the game. I mean, a good healer can definitely make or break a team. So I'm hopefully becoming a good healer. I have a long ways to go, but I've been training up every day. I play for at least an hour or two. So,
Well, that's great. And I mean, I'm sure you could guess who I've been playing with nonstop.
Roadhog.
Yeah, man, I can really relate to him. I love Roadhog. He's a one man. He's the Ayatollah of rock and rolla, baby. He is the one man band. He can heal himself. He's got that awesome shotgun. If you're too far away, he's gonna hook you, bring you over, just like Scorpion. The character, I love the character, and I also love his little voiceover stuff. He's like, "Get over here." He's like, makes the jokes. It's so well done, and all the characters are well done. And I know we're just concentrating on two, but that's my guy. That's my go-to. And I'm sure there's tons of other people who will go like, what a noob. But, and especially the other thing that I really like about the game is the different game modes, and you don't kind of cause I'm only level 13 right now, so I haven't been able to get into the competition stuff yet.
Oh yeah.
Like I said, I've been playing for 5 hours today, and I've really been enjoying playing for the amount of time I've been playing.
I mean, I'm not that much far into the game. As said, I don't have I don't have a lot of time to play, but I'm level 30 right now, and I'm into the competitive play. And the competitive play is just like the the regular play, but I mean, you're being ranked, so I mean, the higher the rank, the better, of course. But I mean, a lot of times I wake up in the morning, I'll play a couple of rounds, and then I'll get into the competitive play just because I got to warm myself up.
Warm up. Yeah, warm yourself up to the idea of going.
Yep.
I'm a huge fan of the hold the objective matches.
Oh, yeah.
Where you have to control one certain spot and they can come and take over, and it's a back and forth kind of thing.
Oh, yeah.
And I was actually really shocked. I didn't think I was going to like it. And the first couple times I played through the matches, I didn't. But the payload matches where you have to defend an area, and then if they get it, if they come in and they take it from you, there's like a little car that starts driving towards the payload.
You got to push it.
I'm a huge fan of that. I didn't think I was going to like it, but it gets so intense and competitive, and I really like the game modes on there where they're your simple game modes, but they're presented in such a way that it makes me feel like I'm playing Call of Duty 4 again.
Yeah.
It's like, it feels so fresh and so new, and it's so nice and so competitive. I really, really enjoy the way these games, this game actually displays its maps and its gameplay. And the controls, well, forget it. Let's get into the rating. Let's just jump right into the ratings. So let's start off with graphics. James, what'd you give graphics?
I gave it a 9. I have a pretty beefy system still, and I play everything on high, and I have experienced no lag. The graphics, they're beautifully designed for one thing. I think the color palette it's not dark, it's not too happy, but it adds to the epicness of the game, and it's very cartoony in a lot of aspects. So as I said, I gave it a 9. This was just right up my alley, and it was so well programmed. I think it really enhanced what they had going.
Couldn't agree with you more. I gave it a 9 as well. And I gave it a 9. It's so good. And I agree with the color palette. And one of the things that I liked about it, this is one of the things that I noticed, is it's almost like a first person shooter. Why are you beeping? You don't have to beep. There's people at the light. Beep. It's a first person shooter. And it's got the feel of a Heroes of Might and Magic character-based game, mixed with Mad Max.
I can see
not Mad Max the game, Mad Max the original movie.
Yeah, Mel Gibson.
Not the remake, Mel Gibson. Yeah. Before he went crazy and started hating all sorts of cultures. This is the type of game that I'm looking for, the character base that I'm looking for. But the beauty in it is the fact that they were able to make those characters, just by looking at their hands, so pretty.
Yeah.
It looked amazing. So graphics got a 9 for me, no question. Moving on to the gameplay. James, gameplay.
Another 9 for me. I mean, I was really happy that this game released and it wasn't broken, so that was a big bonus. And every time they come out with a patch, even though they've been tweaking, nerfing a little bit, which is always expected from a game like this, FPS, I feel that they really well complemented each character, so they have a role. So you're just not, if you like to blast things, you might be a little weaker, but you might have a higher damaging gun. But then there will be a character within, or a couple of characters within the group that can complement this to help this person operate as a team. So I definitely think, and they also have a little helper there. They have like a little thing that'll tell you if your team's a little weak on offense, or you got too many healers or whatever. So it kind of gives you a little guide, which really helps, because I really think nothing really sucks more is when you're on a team and everybody, like, for instance, I was playing Doom. I was bouncing back between Doom. And Doom is kind of the opposite. It's like you kind of start with everybody as generically the same character, and then you have to unlock stuff. And sometimes you run into the problem where, like, everybody's running around with rocket launchers. This game encourages this game encourages you to, I like playing the healer. I mean, I still shoot people with my little blaster. I mean, I always, take the opportunity to, take out some of the weaker characters. But most of mine is healing people and damage enhancing. And I have a lot of fun, for instance, with Roadhog. I mean, I always like hanging behind Roadhog. Because there's a high amount of damage being done. He absorbs a amount of damage. And it's kind of acts as a meat shield for me. So definitely a 9 for the gameplay.
Yeah, 9 for the gameplay over here too, and for all the same reasons. And I couldn't have said it any better than you did. I will say that just like you have another character that you like, you're more of a mercy person. I like Hanzo.
Oh, Hanzo's
I'm a huge
great.
fan.
Yeah. He always picks me off.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and here's the thing is, like, I can jump between these two characters because sometimes you just want to run in there, hook people, and shoot them in the face, and sometimes you just want to ease back and kind of just pick a sucker off.
Yeah, like
and I'm
me.
a huge fan.
Healer, pick off the healer.
you is who I pick off, and I did a lot of that while I was playing today. But I'm a big fan of just the dynamics that the gameplay.
Oh yeah.
That they give you, and also I'm glad that you mentioned the help screen, because that's a big part of it. When I was first playing and you'd look over and it'd be like, hey, you don't have a healer on your team, or this is a map that you're about to go into that's not gonna, it's like, you're like, oh, snap, I have to be ready for this.
You
like,
try a different character.
Try a different character, and it's great. And like, I mean, I was on a run for a while with a group where we were all playing as the same character over and over again, and we were just devastating. It was great. But, and then, a couple people drop out, some new people drop in, and it's like, I got to change this up because the game, I have to adapt to the game. The game doesn't adapt to me. And that's one of the best parts about the game as well. I'm a big fan. Soundtrack, James.
I gave it an 8, and it's not that it isn't great, because an 8's an awesome number, but I love the features. For one thing, the music, I'm just saying, this is just a comment about the music. I kind of like listening to my own tunes in the background, which I'm glad, because I can turn down their music. But it's very epic music that goes along with the game. I felt that the sound effects and the sound design of the game was really well done. I mean, the explosions, the way it's mixed, I play on headphones, so the perspective, it was really well programmed in a stereo field. So yeah, I gave it definitely an 8. What did you give it?
I gave it an 8 as well, and I'm going to tell you why I gave it an 8. At first, so I had my brother come down and he was playing with me for a while, and we have the 7.1 surround sound. James, you've been in the living room.
Oh yeah.
It's the surround sound we have in my house is pretty epic, and when you got that cranking, it really does make a difference. I'm sure my neighbors will agree. The thing is while we were sitting here, my brother was sitting on the couch, and here I am sitting on the recliner, and we're spaced a little bit away. I kept on thinking he was saying something to me when it was actually... That's how crystal clear it is, and how well it's done. I kept on turning, and like I kept on saying, "What?" And he goes, "I didn't say anything." And he'll look at me like, "You're an idiot. How many times you get fooled by a video game saying something?" Like, but like the absolute beauty that the surround sound, how well it's programmed, and how if something goes off over there, the explosion goes off over there, or there's a person behind you and they yell a tagline, it's just so spot on. And 8 is not a bad score at all. It's a great score.
It's a great score.
So just because everything else before this was a 9, so it sounds like a worse score. James, storyline.
I give it an 8. I mean, there's not much to the storyline, but from all the little interactions between the characters, and you can read up on all the stuff online about, the backgrounds and stuff, I thought it was really fun. I mean, at first, when I saw the game, it was kind of unfamiliar. This game has a lot of female characters to it, and it's got a lot of, like they have a big, broody ape guy, but he's like really smart and intelligent, just like kind of weird, fun, quirky stuff. So I thought, even though this is not like a traditional linear game where you play, like a story mode, I thought just the little background of the characters and the way they interact that make up the storyline, I thought it was really well done. So I gave it an 8.
I gave it a 7, and I gave it a 7 because the same reasons you just said. I mean, it's cool. I do hear that they have a comic book. So the next time I'm at the comic store, I will go and pick it up because I'd be interested in these character storylines. But as far as their interactions and stuff like that, is a FPS, guys. I can't sit here and tell you that it's going to have a great storyline because the storyline is fair at best, but it's original. The characters' backgrounds are really cool, and every character has its place. So that's why the storyline gets a 7. If it was like, here are the characters, we don't have an explanation for them, they just look kind of goofy, I would have given it a 5 or lower.
Yeah.
But since they have really good plots and backgrounds behind them, and they do little things like certain characters that are from like their districts that the scrimmage is in, wherever the map is that you're at, they'll be like, I lost a lot of good people here and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You're like, that's cool because they're from that area. That's where they're from in the game. That's cool. I like that concept. So that is why I'm giving it a 7, and I've got no issue with that. James, multiplayer.
What
it is.
What can I say? I gave it a 9. By far, I've heard other people complain about more crashes. I've only had one big crash in the game. That was after a patch, which is sometimes expected. But as I said, this game came out of the box or downloaded from Battle.net. I almost said Steam. Downloaded. Awesome. You know, it was, as I said, and I had no problem with the multiplayer. I've had no problem. I'm on a new internet connection in a new state, and it's not as good as my old one, but I cannot tell the difference as far as my gameplay goes. So, as I said, I give it a 9. What do you give it?
Well, I gave it a 10 initially, and then I thought to myself, nah, you've got the new game jitters. Calm down, Jeff. Everything's okay. I gave it a 9, and the reason why I gave it a 9 is because exactly what you said. I had some of the, like, I experienced some small issues, like getting into games, but it wasn't like I was super inconvenienced. It wasn't like Doom's inconvenience.
Yeah.
Doom's inconvenience was like that, like you're waiting for 90 seconds and you drop out and then you have to go back in.
Yeah.
This one was kind of like, oh, crap, you're not in a game yet? We'll throw you in a scrimmage with other people who aren't in games yet so you can shoot around for a little bit. And then when you're done doing that, we'll put you in a game. And I like that concept a lot. And it's so clean and fast, and the server connections are so correct and well done. And they notify you if the server's not going to be good. That's another thing that's like you don't get in a lot of games. Like a lot of games are not going to tell you if this is going to be a bad connection because they want you to go on. The more time you're on this game, the more time you're going to play it, the more likely you are going to be, you know, to buy the upgrades and stuff like that. Why spend your time playing on crappy servers?
Yep.
Spend your time playing on great servers. You'll be more likely to buy the crap that they put out. I lucked out. I went to Target this morning and got the day 1 edition because they just had a couple left. So I did get a lot of extra crap with my
That's awesome.
with my purchase, which is great. I'm super psyched about that. I'm not sure what the crap is or what the crap does, but I got it. So that's exciting.
Well, I think it's the stuff you get in the loot crates, and you get loot crates that drop. It's just extra character skins and stuff that you can eventually give. I mean, there is some in-game purchases that you can get to speed that along, but you don't need to do any in-game purchases. So even
no.
So
I mean, my overall rating for the game, James, 8.4.
I was 0.2 higher than you.
0.2.
8.6.
8.6.
Yep.
Wow. 8.6 to 8.4, higher than Doom, which I was kind of shocked when I was done. I was like, damn, Doom's a great game.
Yep.
Just kind of goes to show you that Overwatch is amazing as well. What a treat. What a treat. 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
We get to play awesome games for people. We're not, we're not your IGN here. We're not your super high profile company. All this stuff comes out of our pocket, and we love doing it. So we're super excited that we got 2 weeks in a row. Next week we'll probably do like My Name is Bread Mayo or something, and the sequel to I Am Mayonnaise. But this week and last week we got to play some amazing games, and I'm absolutely psyched on the fact that we got to play them. So great games. 8.4, and you gave it an 8.6.
Yep. Go out and buy this.
Go out and buy this game. If you haven't bought it, join the online sensation that is Overwatch.
Yep.
We have another message from You Should Play This in the Ad Console.
Everyone needs a helping hand from time to time. We don't always possess the ability to answer the big questions on our own.
When we are hurt and confused by what happens around us, sometimes it's hard to see the light at the end of the tunnel. But believe me, there is one.
If you're like 1 in 4 people in the world, you suffer from a form of depression, and you are definitely not alone.
To get help, it's as simple as calling 800-273-8255. They answer 24 hours a day and 7 days a week.
Or go visit their website at suicidepreventionlifeline.org and live chat with a representative.
Everyone needs a one-up every now and again.
And sometimes that's all you need to get to the next level.
Welcome back to the You Should Blaze podcast. We got a new segment on the show because we are total nerds and we love everything about the nerd culture.
Yes.
Including wrestling. So welcome to the new segment, Ring Review.
1, 2, 3.
Dun, 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 dun.
We're,
What are we gonna give the new review? We got to do something.
I got a sound effect that I'm putting in there.
Okay,
Don't worry.
the sound effect
It's,
right now. Boop.
Yeah. It's from the Monday Night Raw video games on Super Nintendo, and it goes 1, 2, 3, ding, 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 and then the crowd goes crazy.
Awesome.
It's great. So this is actually going to be the longest ring review that you would get on a very first one because we had a pay-per-view. What we're going to be doing on the ring review is we're going to be reviewing anything that happened in wrestling this week.
Yeah.
We had a pay-per-view on Sunday. We had the very first Monday Night Raw of the new era on Monday. And on Tuesday, we had the very first SmackDown Live of the new era. Well, actually, it was the second SmackDown Live of the new era because yours truly was at the draft last week.
You lucky dog.
It was awesome. It was awesome. I was on TV like 4 times. It was sweet.
See that blurry
One of the
guy
best
right
parts
there?
about it.
Zoom in. That's me.
I took so many pictures off of the television. Everyone's like, "Which one are you?" I was like, "I'm that guy." I like circle my head. But it was funny. The one time that they panned to us that you could really see us, they were announcing that America Alpha got brought up to SmackDown, and neither my buddy Greenberg or I could be bothered about it at all. So we just kind of we were sitting in our seats while everybody around us were cheering. I'm like, you couldn't have picked a worse spot to pan to. It's like 2 guys looking at their phones being like, whatever. And then like a bunch of people cheering around them. So we're going to get right into it. We had the Battleground pay-per-view this past Sunday night. Battleground had a plethora of terrible matches with a few good matches that had some terrible endings. It was a in-between pay-per-view just like they always deliver.
Yeah.
You know, it was okay. There were certain matches that were okay and certain matches that were whatever. Let's get the garbage out of the way. Charlotte and Dana Brooke versus Sasha Banks and the surprise guest Bayley. Bayley was an awesome surprise guest. It was really good to see her. Sasha Banks kind of playing the face part, having Bayley come out because Bayley is the ultimate babyface in NXT.
Yeah.
And you can't really push her into a heel position where Sasha Banks kind of teeters the line.
Yeah, I thought the match was fair, but it could have been a title match, man. It should have been a title match.
Well, that's what the thing is with these pay-per-views. You're expecting title matches, but SummerSlam being right around the corner, what are you going to do? Again, not a bad match, but the pacing was a little off, and Dana Brooke is showing no improvement since she's been up from NXT, and I think that's going to be something that's going to start to eat at Stephanie McMahon a little bit. The New Day versus the Wyatts.
Kind of boring, man.
One of the things, it was kind of a boring match, but one of the things that was really weird about the New Day, I love the New Day and I love the Wyatts, but they did this, you know how the Hardy Boys just did that video, the final deletion video, which is the weirdest thing. It's one of the weirdest things I've ever seen, and I know the What Culture Wrestling guys all didn't like it, but I thought it was great, so I don't really care what they think. One of the things that I thought was kind of weird was WWE just immediately was like, oh, they're doing this, so we need to capitalize on it, which is something they used to do a lot back in the day, but they don't do it now, you know? It was kind of interesting, and again, a non-title match in a pay-per-view. It's just hard for me to watch. Yeah, the New Day retains, and yeah, the New Day becomes the longest reigning tag team champion in WWE history, which is a huge advancement for WWE and shows that their political platform over the years have changed. But still, it would have been nice to have a title match. But the Wyatts win. The Wyatts win somewhat clean, as the Wyatts do. There's always a little bit of shenanigans, but whatever. So we got Rusev versus Zack Ryder. This match was clearly just kind of like a little snacky cake in between match. It wasn't that great. It was for the U.S. title. It certainly happened. It was the ending that made the match the worst part, really, when Mojo came out. You could kind of see in Zack Ryder's face was like, oh, damn it, I thought I left you in NXT, but for some reason you're here now. Okay, we'll go with it. The hype bros is their tag team, and it is what it is. I mean, Zack Ryder's kind of become that novelty character. He's kind of slipping into what Heath Slater was for a while, so it's kind of nice to see Zack Ryder getting some more time. But you know, it also would have been nice if you guys didn't cut Damian Sandow and we could see more of him. Moving on, we had Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens. And
man, that feud's been going for a few years, man. It like started in NXT and now it's like bled over to the WWE. I mean,
it's been going on for way too long. And I remember the first time, or let's say, so I remember watching that feud go on in NXT, and then I remember watching that feud start up again in WWE. And I remember thinking to myself, I could watch these guys fight forever. Now I'm not sure. At first, I really thought to myself, boy, I could watch these guys fight forever. And now I'm kind of like, I wonder if I could not watch these guys fight, how nice that would be. I don't think it's over yet either. And I think that's the worst part about how WWE sets this up. I think they're going to do some kind of SummerSlam match. They're going to have to step it up, though. I'm not saying like what they haven't done over the time hasn't been amazing. The ladders match at WrestleMania was amazing. The 1v1s, the NXT matches, the 2 fights that they've had at the past 2 pay-per-views, they've all been really great to watch. But I'm thinking if they want to package these guys for one more fight, because now Kevin Owens has won one officially and Sami Zayn's won one officially, so they'll be able to do a work on a storyline and it won't be an issue. But you got to throw them in a cage or something. You have to do something to change it up.
Yeah, whatever they do, I don't think it's over yet. So, I mean...
Oh, it's definitely not over yet. Natalya Hart versus Becky Lynch at Battleground. It was we agree that it was a very disorganized match?
For sure.
I love Becky Lynch.
Yeah.
The Last Kicker, she is one of my favorites. And not to say that I don't have huge respect for Natalya either. Natalya was one of the women who was a part of that Divas division that stuck out and was like, no, I'm a wrestler. I'm not a diva. This is silly. And I really appreciated her putting that on for us. Like she comes from the Hart family. You know?
Yeah, I remember her uncle when Owen died. I guess it was an accident.
I mean, that was one of the biggest travesties in wrestling history. And, you know, Brett, his brother, always blamed Vince for that whole thing.
Yep.
But they were going through some rocky stuff. Anyways, that's not the point. The point is that Natalya's pedigree and Natalya's history and her family history, she is a great wrestler and she really shows what she's doing in the ring and she really knows what she's doing. But they didn't give this feud enough time to boil. And the times that they were upfront about the way the feud was going, it just didn't pan out very well. Yeah. The rivalry was stale at the end of the day.
Most agreed.
I don't think it's over, but it sure needs a kick in the butt. Let's put it that way. And both wonderful performance, ladies. It just wasn't the best. And I know you both can do better because I've seen it. I know it for a fact. Darren Young versus The Miz.
Wow, I was a little confused what happened in this match.
I don't know what the hell happened in this match.
Like, who won?
First of all, I don't know. I have no idea. Bob Backlund, legend. Hands down, legend. Bob Backlund, when Bob Backlund was asked to get rid of one of his longest title reigns, when he was asked to move on from his title reign, and we understand... When we're talking about this, folks, we understand that this stuff is kayfabe. This is predetermined. We get that. We get that whole thing. But when Bob Backlund was asked to do this, he was supposed to hand the belt over to Hulk Hogan to move it forward. And his response was, I will only lose to a wrestler. I will not lose to Hulk Hogan. That, my friend, is a real man, because Hulk Hogan is probably one of the worst wrestlers in history. One of the most famous ones, but one of the worst wrestlers. Yeah, he's charisma on a stick, steroids in a can, but he's His 24-inch pythons never wowed me.
Yeah.
You know, clothesline, body slam, leg drop, pin. Good job. You're the Roman Reigns from back in the day. That's all you are. Darren Young versus The Miz. Who lost? Who won? Darren Young's music hit, so I think that he won via disqualification. I don't know how it all went down, but all I know is that they're still keeping the rivalry alive, even though Darren Young's on Raw and The Miz is on SmackDown. So I'm thinking we're going to see a SummerSlam rematch. We'll see what happens. Hopefully that'll be good. John Cena, Enzo and Cass versus The Club.
Oh, this is one of my favorite matches of the night. I mean,
I think this was the best match of the night. Just
the cutting of the promo. I mean, it was Enzo was just he was a poet.
Oh my God!
Don't eat yellow
Enzo
snow.
Amore.
Don't make eye contact while eating a banana. I mean, there was just some.
Don't wear Crocs. How you doing? Ever? How you doing? I mean, it was so. He's great. He's great.
Yeah.
He's a certified G and a bona fide stud, and you can't teach that. He's great. He's one of the best mic pieces you'll ever get in the ring. And it harkens back to. I mean, there's been some great mic guys over the years. CM Punk's definitely one of them. It turns out he was just actually crazy.
What about teaming up with John Cena?
Up,
I mean, he'd been taking a beating from AJ.
John Cena. It's funny the way the club just kind of like. The way the WWE just likes to rewrite their history of other people and turn it into what is now their history. The club was something that was in New Japan Wrestling. They bought everybody. They moved them over. Yep. Finn Balor was in it. Shinsuke Nakamura was in it. Now that you've got all these guys over here and they're doing it, they're just recreating what they did over there, which is fine. Don't get me wrong. It's a great thing. However, yeah, the club's gonna take the biggest, baddest guy, and they're gonna try to pick him apart. Now they separated AJ Styles and Gallows and Anderson from Raw to SmackDown. So now these guys are separated. Finn Balor's on Raw, so we might see some club action happening with Finn, which will lead to an awesome AJ Styles Finn fight at one point. I'm sure of it. Which is exactly I would love. Battle of the club. Who gets the club, but. Right now, we're talking about what a great finish to the match. There was some really awkward timing in the match. There was some too fast, too slow moments in the match.
But overall, it was classic Enzo. I mean, he just came out just swinging, just taking a beating. I mean, just time after time. But that man has no fear. I mean, he'll take on anyone. Well,
nah, he'll take on anybody except for a ring rope.
Yeah, that's true.
But I'll tell you the truth of the matter is the finish was great.
Yep.
Solid AAs from and John Cena's just and that unbelievable toss outside the ring over the ropes and hit,
beautiful setup.
If you look, you see Enzo Amore catching AJ Styles on that second toss where Cass throws AJ Styles out of the ring. Dude, that is great ring awareness. You can't say that the guy doesn't know his way around a ring. Yeah, he wasn't, a lot of people give him crap because he wasn't a professional wrestler before this. He was just a great mouthpiece and then he started in training. He's an amazing wrestler. He's got great ring awareness. He's smart, he's witty, he's fast. And that's what you need, Moving on. We got Randy Orton's bit that was funny and the RKO and Jericho's still talking about the 69 tax, whatever. And the main event, it was a good match.
Yes.
It could have been way better if the cameras were planted correctly. I'm sure it was a lot more fun to watch, but seeing bodies kind of fall from the sky for no reason was a little on the weird side.
Yeah.
And the beauty of the whole entire match was Ambrose getting the pin on a clean win.
Oh, very clean. Yeah.
And, I'm a huge fan of that finish. I thought that finish was really perfect and allowing Ambrose showing a lot of respect for Ambrose carrying the belt, letting him hold on to it for a little bit longer. And so this is what the show will normally be like when we don't have a battleground, we don't have a pay-per-view. We have Raw, and we're just going to blow through this really quick. Wonderful, wonderful Raw and SmackDown this week. But Mick Foley, I mean, he really showed, what a GM's about.
Yep. Most agreed.
The matches the matches that they had coming out that night it was the best way to start off Raw in a new era. So we'll say they had the 2 fatal 4-ways. The winners of both were Finn Balor and Roman Reigns. As soon as I saw Roman Reigns win, I was like, damn it.
Dude, but
here it comes.
But they were awesome.
They were great matches, but Roman Reigns, I was like, here it comes. Superman punch spear. Superman punch spear. Here it comes. New Day came out for a beautiful celebration reel.
Yep.
And congratulations to a fellow gamer too, Austin Creed and Big E and Kofi Kingston. Right down the street. I'm in Medford and Kofi Kingston's from Arlington. They're right next door to each other. So congratulations to you guys for being the longest tag belt holders of all time now. Finn Balor had his debut. Finn Balor had his debut. Sasha Banks wins the women's title on the first Raw of the new era. Sasha Banks, Boston-bred wrestler. This, for me, was so exciting. I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it.
That's a pretty big deal.
Pretty big deal. On top of all that, I mean, you got to respect her ring awareness, right?
Yep. Yeah, the trick she used to get Dana Brooke removed from ringside was shades of Eddie Guerrero.
Oh, you can't beat a good old-fashioned Eddie Guerrero move, and it was her favorite wrestler. And, I mean, her being a small technical wrestler, she's not a super tall woman, and fighting somebody such as Charlotte Flair, Charlotte Flair, It was pretty amazing to see her do that the whole entire title throw and stuff like that. It was really cool seeing that. And Finn Balor wins the main event at his debut, burying Roman Reigns, which is exactly what I wanted to see. Yeah. And now he's set to fight a match against Seth Rollins for the new Universal Championship belt. I can spend a whole podcast talking about how stupid the name of that belt is.
What does it even look like?
I don't know. They haven't even released what it looks like yet. It's a dumb name, but if the belt looks cool, I'll probably buy one. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I'm a freak when it comes to this crap, but it is what it is. SmackDown was pretty awesome from the start. They had that 20-man battle royal right off the bat, which was a lot of fun. I mean, it was awesome. It was great watching that. Becky Lynch and Natalya came down to do some kind of rivalry thing, and then the rest of the women's division got introduced. It's clear to me that they got the B stick on the women's division, which sucks. Because you've got some really great wrestlers down there, and they're not going to get opportunities to go against people like Sasha Banks or, Charlotte Flair. And it's going to be tough for them to create a show. And the only thing I can think of that they're going to do is a women's tag division. Mm-hmm. And that's what I'm hoping for. It will give all the, they got like all the women. They got them all. So they've got like 9 or 10 B women fighting, but for no clear purpose. Well, throw them together in some tag teams and make it happen. Yeah, that would be great.
Because right now they look kind of weak compared to the Raw's division. I mean, so.
Oh, no doubt. Next to the Raw division, they look really weak. Randy Orton and The Miz, there's a little snack, little surprise treat right there. That was something. I didn't think that Randy Orton was going to fight before SummerSlam, and he sure proved us wrong. Good match against The Miz. Really, really well scouted, really well planned. The Miz looked like the opportunist for most of the match, really attacking Randy's injured shoulder, as you would say. But at the end of the day, man, 2 RKOs.
Out of nowhere.
You ain't going nowhere. Where you going? Out of nowhere. Heath Slater's promo was kind of humorous as he's playing this guy who wasn't drafted, and it's kind of fun to watch him do that thing, and Shane McMahon humoring him, but Rhino coming up behind him.
Yep.
Gore, 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 gore. Rhino really taking it to Shane McMahon, really taking it to Heath Slater, which was really fun to see Shane McMahon's face, and Shane says, well, it looks like we found our best unsigned candidate right there in the ring, and he's obviously referring to Rhino. Finishing up the night with the 6-pack match. The 6-pack match, obviously, is no disqualifications. a pinfall or submission victory is the only way you can win this. I'm really psyched that they got Apollo Crews in there. Apollo Crews is a great up-and-comer. Baron Corbin, also a great up-and-comer from NXT. So it's really good to see these two guys in there. Two totally different guys, too. Apollo Crews is little and jacked, and Baron Corbin's like super tall and kind of jacked, but looks kind of, he's like Undertaker-y. Not really, he's like bikey, he's weird. AJ Styles, John Cena, Bray Wyatt, and Dolph Ziggler. Out of all those guys, who do you think's going to get the finish in there? My money was on John Cena, because I'm sitting there going, John Cena wants another title before he leaves. He wants to go up over Ric Flair, woo, and he wants to move forward and get his titles. I did not see this finish.
Oh yeah,
no way. John Cena throwing 3 AAs in the ring. AJ Styles comes up from behind, knocks John Cena out of the way with a flying punch off the top ropes. Dolph Ziggler, always the opportunist, comes in, super kicked AJ Styles. AJ Styles down. 1, 2, 3. I never saw Dolph Ziggler taking it. My money was on Bray Wyatt because I thought the guy needed a push because he's now separated from the Wyatt family. But looks like Dolph Ziggler is going to be fighting Dean Ambrose at SummerSlam for the WWE Championship. And I think the 2 matches or the 3 matches that have been really officially announced, Dean Ambrose versus Dolph Ziggler. You got Seth Rollins versus Finn Balor. And you've got Randy Orton versus Brock Lesnar. Drug test pending.
Oh.
Just saying.
Yep.
Those matches are going to be absolutely amazing.
Yes, I can't wait.
So I'm already excited for SummerSlam.
Yep.
And looks like we had a really great week in WWE. I can't wait to see what else these guys do. And that will be it for the Ring Review.
1, 2, 3.
We're going to wrap up this podcast. Make sure you check us out on Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, and YouTube at You Should Play This, on Twitter at Should Play This, and at www.youshouldplaythis.com. Always feel free to write us a message at ysptpodcast@gmail.com. We always love hearing from you and seeing what we can do to better ourselves. Hope you like the new segment. Overwatch was awesome.
Yeah.
Can't wait to get back to playing that. You got to go to work.
Oh.
I'm going to play more Overwatch. I can't wait to talk to you guys more about video games and what's coming out with Nintendo and everything that's been going on. It was a fun episode, James.
Oh, dude, and this is gonna be a longer episode too. So hopefully,
that's cool with me, man.
Lots of stuff
that's
to talk
cool
about.
With me.
Well, anyways, yeah, I better be zipping off to my job before they're wondering where I'm at.
He's got to get his zip on. Yeah, they're never gonna.
New job.
They got the best guy. They don't even know what to do with themselves. So, I am Babam1337.
And this is Dozer, the PC Exposer.
And we'll see you next time on the You Should Play This podcast.
See ya!
Bye! Bye-bye! Bye. The music!
Cool,
right,
man.
I'm going to hit stop now.
All right.
There we go.